I've been trading crypto since 2017, but last year something different completely took over the space, and that's Solana meme coins. When meme coins started popping off, my friends introduced me to Solana trading bots. I was on Photon first, and I lost a couple hundred trying to figure it out. And then I found alpha groups, and then I found crypto Twitter, and then I straight locked in. In a few weeks, I ended up making an extra 6 figures on the side. Guys, I got lucky, but that's only because I stayed locked in. And from there, I used all of 2024 to study and remain consistent, and I made a shit ton of more money. Now this year, I plan on making at least $1 million profit while this opportunity lasts. Guys, this is gonna be the best video if you're getting into crypto. Even if you've been trading meme coins and want to up your game, this is gonna be the main keys that I wish I learned sooner. So pay attention, because you can miss out on so much money if you sleep on this information. Now, first off, assuming you know how to get there, you want to buy some Solana on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or Binance, then send it to your Phantom wallet. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna set up an account on Axiom Pro. All the links you need are gonna be in the description below. That's all we're gonna need for this video. Let's jump straight into it. A lot of scanning good meme coins comes from Confluence. This is just when multiple indicators line up that gives you conviction to hold, size in, buy into a trade, and stay into that trade. So for example, there can be a strong narrative. It's on Meta, and these are terms we're gonna go over a little bit more in detail in a bit. Multi-buy signals, wallet tracking some of these great traders that we see here. Okay, you don't want to just copy trade them, but if multiple people buy into one trade in a specific amount of time, that's a good buy signal. Are you early? Are you late? Is it a Twitter post? Is it relevant? Is it real? Is it rugged? Is it bundled? These are all things that you're kind of putting together within a minute or two, and you get faster and better at doing this, and the faster that you get, the more of an edge that you're going to have in these markets. Now, I cannot stress this enough. It's hard enough trying to do it by yourself, especially if you're new. Even if you're not, the truth is you should not be trading alone. And again, this is why I started Rage Pro. We have VCs, voice chats, where we trade together and we give each other sauce, we give each other alpha. We have advanced tools in the group to analyze wallets, to analyze if coins have been bundled, if they're just gonna dump on you. You don't want to get into those coins. You don't want to get into coins that's gonna go straight to zero. You want to be able to share information and share what we call alpha really fast. So join an alpha group is very important. So anyways, another way that we find alpha is multi-buy signals. So you can see here in Axiom, we have trackers, we have live trades, we have Twitter alerts. Now, Twitter alerts is something completely different. This is like a Twitter monitor where you're able to see tweets first. It's instantaneous. They have a Truth Social monitor as well. This is why Axiom is above every other thing, right? We've been had this in Rage Pro, but it's just game changing the fact that they're doing this and they're updating and accelerating at such a crazy level. No other platform has these tools. So you can see here, if I pull up Twitter Tracker, it pulls up right here while I'm scanning. And this is just a side note so you guys can see this. And you can put it wherever you want. You can be hovering over, you put it on the right side, left side, whatever makes sense for you. And then the wallet tracker as well. And you can see here, I pulled up the wallet tracker. You can add wallets in your wallet manager, live trades. If you guys are on Rage Pro, I also give you all the best wallets that you should be tracking. All you gotta do is import it like so. You go here, let me move this P&L tracker. I just got a new custom Rage P&L, pretty dope. But you can see here, all of these wallets, you can just add wallets and then you can import a bunch of wallets at once, okay? And I give you guys all the best wallets that you should be using in Rage Pro, and all the best Twitter accounts that you should be following, true social accounts you should be following. In Rage Pro, we also have an Instagram tracker. Instagram's a lot slower. There's not a lot of alpha on Instagram, but you know, any edge helps in this market. So getting back to it, what I'm talking about here is a multi-buy signal though. So we get instant alerts through Axiom, but what we also have in Rage is the multi-buy signals. And I like this because you could go into any given trade. So check here, wallet tracker. And if I just type multi-buy signal, just show you an example. This is a multi-buy, right? So what the Rage bot does, it tracks all these same wallets already. This is an advanced wallet tracker. It already tracks all the best wallets that we personally put in. And what it's going to do is, if any multiple traders get into a trade at a specific time frame, it's going to alert you with a multi-buy signal. So it'll tell you straight up, look, 4 wallets got into whatever. And right here you see Dream, Assassin, Casino, Cupsy. These are pretty notable traders. It might be something that you want to look at. It can be some type of alpha. It's not always going to be alpha, but I can't tell you how many trades that I have found that got me into trades first, that got me crazy P&Ls because of a multi-buy signal. Okay, and then you can see just a little background into the group. You see a lot of people scanning in the VC, making money. Some people trade live. You can learn, you can, you know, exchange ideas, but the main premise is to find alpha, scan together, share information fast so that we get into coins first and win. Okay, you can see the wins here and P&Ls. You know, we got people winning every single day, you know, making hundreds and thousands of dollars, wins on wins on wins. We got call tags, you know, some of the calls that we called in this group, pretty next level. You see, we call Gort, right? For over 40x at this point, 50x at this point. In the group, we called it for 1000x, right? We called it sub 100K. So what you're seeing here is just pretty crazy calls that we've called in the group as well. Now, just to get back to it, you want to look for those multi-buy signals. Very important. Now, getting back into Pulse, that's just one Confluence out of many. There's going to be advanced bundle checkers. There's going to be top wallet analysis. There's going to be knowing if it's a good narrative, if it's a real narrative, if it's real news, fake news. These are all things that come into play, and it's happening so fast. Now, you can open up any single chart. You can see this is sending a little bit right here, and you'll see, let's see here, I'll reset chart view. Now, automatically, what I usually do is I'm on the seconds, right? I'm on the second to 15-second chart because we're still so early. There's not enough data to look at the hour chart. Look at the hour chart, it's just one candle that looks like this. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna go on the 1 second, and then I usually don't like to look at track trades because it gets a little bit annoying. I just like the multi-buy signals on the Rage bot, but you could turn on track trades and see who's on, right? Show all bubbles, okay? And you can see who's buying in. Right now, there's only one person who's bought in. Who bought in? That's a smart wallet that we track. Okay, so maybe it's not so much alpha. You could look more into it. You could look at what the tweet is about. So Phantom tweeted a dog, and it says the dog in me, and it's just a GIF. Okay, to me, this is a very weak narrative. I don't think it's a very strong narrative. Maybe just off of the tweet, it pumped up. If we saw it earlier, it could have been a clean 10x, 15x, 20x, but this isn't something that I'll bid because I don't think it has any long-term potential. There's nothing that's going to push it further than this. And that's what I mean when I say narratives. That's the most important thing when it comes to trading these meme coins. Why would somebody buy after you? What is the next catalyst that's going to take this to Valhalla, to heaven, to the next level, to millions, whatever you want to call it, right? So you want to look for those things in a meme coin. If it's just a tweet, don't get me wrong, Phantom is notable. We all trade on Phantom wallets. We all access Web3 mainly with our Phantom wallet. So that's a huge thing, but it isn't something that's going to continue more than this, in my opinion. You're probably going to see this just slowly die out. And it's not a real dog, it's just a GIF. It's not, there's no name to it, there's nothing more to it. So this I would pass on. And that's what a scan is like. There's no smart wallets, there's no multi-buy signals. If I was on the group chat right now, we'd be sharing this information live and we'll just pass on it together. Unless we saw it early, that's a whole other thing, right? If you see it early enough, sure, why not? But in this case, you're gonna pass. So you can see the top holders here. You can see the top traders here. That's mostly all you're gonna be looking at. And then on the bottom right here, you can see distribution, right? And distribution is basically just top 10 holders, what the dev is holding, which you usually wanna see nothing. You wanna see all of this in green, right? You don't wanna see many insiders. You don't wanna see many snipers. These are people who, snipers just dump on the chart later on. They just got in early, sniped on the launch, and they dump later, right? Too many snipers is not a good look. Insiders are people who have supply, but they didn't buy supply. So think about that. That's team members, that's people who just got sent supply, people who sent supply to their other wallets. They're just gonna dump on the chart. You don't wanna see a high number for this either. And then bundles is people, this is a creative way of rugging charts, okay? Just look at it like that. It's a creative way of rugging charts where you send most of your supply to different wallets, so it looks like organic distribution, but it's really not. And then you dump on a chart later. You don't wanna get into that. So Axiom shows you if DEX is paid or not. I use a tool called Focane, okay? You can look up Focane, make sure it is the actual Focane. It is a Google Chrome extension and it updates DEX for you in real time and even shows you the banner. Okay, Axiom I believe made an update, they do this too. Maybe you don't need it. I still like Focane a lot, so I just still have it on. So that's the main premise when it comes to trenching. That's what you're looking for when you're scanning. So if I go over here back to Pulse, you can see the more left you are on new pairs, the more risky you are. Now, if I go to final stretch, obviously the community has chose these tokens a little bit more. So there is a higher chance that they're going to migrate. So it is a good strategy to look into these coins a little bit deeper. But as a new trader or as a safe trader, you don't want as much risk. You could sit here on migrated and you can just wait till something is obvious. I tell this to people all the time. Don't just get into anything. Don't just gamble on any pair, anything that kind of makes sense. If you get into something, it doesn't make complete sense, you don't have complete conviction in it, then you're gonna lose. You're gonna gamble it away. You don't wanna do that. So you wanna get into something that makes complete sense and you know is gonna run later on. And this goes into my next thing, which is understanding crypto culture. Okay, guys, if you don't already, follow me on X at King Montilla. Follow all the people that I'm following. Those are notable people. Elon Musk, Trump, for example, Axiom. There's a bunch of traders and people who give a ton of value in the space, and you want to follow them. You want to see what they're talking about. You want to see what the general sentiment is of the markets, of crypto. There's a lot of trolling. It's very unserious. Don't take it too seriously, but you can get a good idea of what's running in the markets, what's holding, what communities are holding up, and the overall sentiment of memes. Now, other than that, to understand narratives better, you have to understand crypto terminology. Now, it comes into 4 phases, and I'll jump into it right here. I showed you guys this. This is in my course, okay? I have a free course as well, but in the pro course, I go way more in depth into these things, but I'm gonna give you guys some sauce. So to understand narratives, people ask me all the time, how do I know when to get in on new pairs or migrated, or what's the strategy on getting into final stretch? Guys, it all boils down to narratives and understanding the terminology behind it. And if you can know where you sit on in this map, you're gonna know how much to hold, you're gonna know your conviction, you're gonna know whether you're gambling, not gambling. And if you just sit on your hands and wait for what we call alpha, which is a main runner in the market, you will always be profitable. So let me show you. Meta. This is the overall theme of the markets, right? That's what meta stands for. When we say what's the meta, what's the overall theme? Right now, the overall theme has been Gork meta, right? Because this is the main runner. And this leads to the next thing. What is alpha? Alpha is an original narrative, viral, and sometimes it can create a whole new meta. And this usually has minimum 10 million market cap potential, but it goes 100 million and even more when the market's really hot. That is alpha. Things like routine. This was the #1 viewed video on X ever in history, and the muscular guy doing a routine. I went over this a few times, but I want you guys to drill this into your head. If you've never seen my videos before, this is very important. This is what alpha is. Okay, we called Gork live last week in alpha chat, in pro scanning, at 100K market cap. That's 1,000x. And then we called it in the official alpha chat, right, outside of the VC, around 2 million. This is when we realized, okay, we just caught something really special for 43x. So even if you got in later when we officially called it, if you wasn't in the VC, you still caught a 43x. Even just one SOL, you would have made 43 SOL off of that one trade. Now, how did we get into a coin like Gork? Guys, we were scanning all day long and we sat on our hands. We didn't get into any gamble, anything until something obvious popped up. And that just happened to be Gork. So you want to wait for alpha because that's where the money is. If you just gamble into any bullshit that kind of makes sense, or any influencer jumps into, or any influencer calls, right? A lot of this shit is LARP. You got to understand, people are going to shill their bags. People are going to dump on you. You don't want to be somebody else's exit liquidity. Don't just copy people. Don't just follow anybody. You want to learn your skill set yourself. It has to make sense to you. You have to have conviction in the trade yourself. So you have to know where you sit on in this map. Is it within the meta? Is it alpha? Is it beta? So if Gork made a new meta, which was kind of AI and Gork tweets and all this stuff, because Elon ended up tweeting it, sent our bags to heaven. Now, what is a beta? A beta is a supporter of the alpha play. Now, usually this has minimum 5 mil potential, I would say, right? Here, I put 3 to 10 mil potential, but this can go crazier. It can even flip in alpha sometimes. And this is kind of happening right now with Your Mom, which we also called in our alpha chat. So with Gork kept tweeting about Your Mom, and that's an obvious meme. This is more memeable than the AI itself. So it's just funny your mom, you know, and Gork is just a bro version of Grok, a bro, funny, troll version of Grok. Elon Musk got behind it, like I said, and it started talking about your mom. So they tokenized your mom too. And that is just hilarious. So that is going to be a supporter of the alpha play. We seen this with Peanut. Peanut died because of political reasons, whatever the case is, the squirrel. And then Fred the raccoon was in the same sanctuary, died as well. And people ran up Fred. That was a beta to Peanut. And they both just ran up crazy. So they were both very profitable trades. Now, other than that, there's going to be derivatives. Okay, derivatives are copycat, co-plays. They're usually funny as well. And you can see, like Gorkalon, for example, Elon Musk changed his default picture and he changed his name to Gorkalon Rust. And it was just funny because he was just adding to the meme of Gork. Obviously, Gork is the main runner. This is the alpha play. But if you missed the alpha play and you want to get into a strong tweet, you know, strong news, something that's trending, you could have got into Gorkalon, and this one tapped out at around, you know, a few mil, less than 2-3 mil. Something like that. These you can usually get in. Anything you get in, if you're scanning all day, you can get good entries sub 1 mil. You get 3x from a derivative. Now, obviously, you rather just wait for alpha because this is where you're mostly gonna make money. So then we got gambles. Could be off meta. They have to be funny. Ideally, haven't seen before. Sometimes you could, but these usually are gonna top out around 200K, right? Gambles. Now, usually, that being said, we're scanning all day, so we're usually trying to catch these, or we should be catching these sub 1 mil anyway, right? So for the most part, you can catch at least a 2x, 3x. If you're grinding on new pairs and you're trenching on new pairs, that's a little bit advanced, or, you know, even final stretch, you can catch 5x to 10x even off gambles, right? If it's funny enough, original enough, it's not a complete scam, you're scanning all day, it comes out right at you. It's pretty obvious, right? We saw Baby, this ran up to like 300K, and then this was a gamble that I actually called in the group as well. We called it 30x on it. I called it around 40K. It hit a couple mils, right? And it's Shark, Raptor, rocket launcher, right? Tongue twister. And I just saw it. It was just stupid. It was funny. It's memeable. You guys already know the vibes. So it was just like, it was a gamble called a 32x, right? A lot of people made money off of it. So this is how you're trading. Now, don't get me wrong. Communities make narratives stronger, okay? You got to understand that communities make narratives stronger. But you have to understand where you're at on this. If you're gambling too much and, you know, you're risking your money for only 2, 3, 4, 5 X's, if you get lucky, you will get lucky sometimes, get a 10X off a gamble, sure, right? But it has to be obvious. You want to be real picky. It's my suggestion that you sit and you wait for alpha, because if you wait for alpha, way more returns, you can size into it, you can sleep on them trades, and you're just gonna print. They happen once or twice a week in hot markets, and really hot markets, they happen almost every day. Every day you're gonna get a 10 mil runner. You know, but a 100 mil runner, they happen once or, you know, a handful of times a month when the markets are hot the way they are now. Those are things that you want to take into consideration. So guys, with that being said, you have an idea of what Confluence is, how to find narratives, how to get into them early, what's going to give you conviction to hold, and all these things. It's a lot that we're going over, but the best way to show you guys is just through examples. So for right now, I'm just going to show you a few scans, and I'll show you what it's like to buy, what it's like to sell. I'm not really going to take too much time on any given trade, so we're not gonna sit here and go crazy, but if we find a cook, we find a cook. If not, we don't. But I'm gonna show you exactly what it is to trench. So let's jump right back into it. So you see here, I'm back on Pulse. Twitter tracker open. On my other screen, I have, you know, my Rage bot, wallet tracker, things of that nature. So we could look here. You see, look, you're a bitch. So we see here, this is obviously off the rip. I just told you guys, this is a derivative of your mom, which is a beta of Gork. So is this gonna be really strong? Probably not. I mean, it is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of funny. I don't see any track traders in it. Okay, it looks like it's still bundled. I can check in my bundle checker and let's see what it's looking like. So if I go to my meme tools, bot commands, and then I go and I input the bundle, contract address. Boom, you can see this is still 17% bundled, okay? Is that something that you wanna touch? Probably not, right? So that bundle is gonna clear out any moment now. You're gonna see this dump. Now, and I wanna say this, bundles aren't always a complete red flag because a lot of teams have to bundle their coins in order for a coin to go. But in order for a coin to go, you want it to have like it has to be alpha, right? It has to be alpha or beta or something with crazy volume that even while the bundles clear out, it's still just gonna move past that. A lot of coins start off bundled, so that's completely fine, but you don't want to get caught in the middle of a bundle like this. There's not a lot of, you know, action, not a lot of volume right now. You see it kind of going up, but there is a lot of bundles. The bundles are probably gonna clear out. If I buy now and top blast this thing, bundles are probably gonna just clear out, dump on me, and this is a derivative beta of a beta. But you only learn these things, like I could look at this just by looking at it, and it's probably a grok treat. Look, just like I told you, a gork treat, I mean, right? And you can see, because the meta right now is gork, but you want to stick to the alpha or, you know, the main beta, right? Because yeah, it said this, but the main beta is your mom at the end of the day. So I wouldn't want to get into this. I wouldn't want to top blast right here unless this was some serious alpha. You can be wrong, fine. If a community forms around this, you see this really start taking over, then sure, right? But I'd rather get an entry later when I have conviction than get in now where I know it's super bundles, it could clear out at any moment, and it's a derivative beta of a beta. It doesn't quite make sense. I wouldn't get into this right now. So for that, I'm going to pass, okay? So you could keep looking, right? I don't see anything in final stretch that catches my eye. You see, look, you're next. Again, this is a beta of this, your bitch, your mom, your dad, like there's all this meta you're seeing over and over. I would pass. After you start seeing the same thing over and over, people just kill it. They drag it all the time. You don't want to get in those things, right? You see grug, if you see here, bundled, like it doesn't really look too good. You know, 500K now. Yeah, nah, I don't understand it. No links. I see a TikTok link. Right now, we're not really on TikTok meta. Maybe this is running. So this is actually very viral, but it's 100 gorillas against grug. You guys know that whole gorilla meme that just went through. We actually caught that. We called that the one gorilla versus 100 men. We caught that in alpha group as well. I'm not too familiar with this, so I'm just gonna pass. I don't think it's that strong. And again, I could be wrong. I'll look into it later. Maybe it runs. Okay, so we'll go through. I see this tweet right here, baby, and I think earlier there was a baby fi. I bet you baby fi is going crazy because of this. Let's see. Yep, people are buying into baby fi right now. So I'm gonna get in, all right? I'll go ahead, I'll put in one soul. And just to kind of show you, I'm not really up or down. I don't really wanna hold this trade yet because it's already kind of higher. Maybe because of this tweet, it can run, right? But I just wanna show you guys exactly how the instant buys work, right? So click instant trade and it just runs. You see people getting in after me, and it's probably because of that tweet, okay? You see this guy sold out, but you can see it's not a lot of volume that I see in here yet. This is something that probably has to form, and this is basically AI meta as well. People changing their PFPs or whatever the case is to be babies, and it's just kind of funny and whatever. I like it, but it's a little bit late, and it's been done. We had giblification, we had a figure, we have all of these. So right now, I don't think it's the strongest play. I got in just off of the tweet to see if we could get a little quick pump, and I just kind of show you guys how it works. But yeah, nah, I'm gonna paper hands this. I don't think it's that strong. Okay, so look how fast I got out of the trade. So I'll consider this like a break even. It's not really a crazy loss, crazy win. Who cares, right? So if I go back on Pulse, I could go and find something even better, right? Because that wasn't too much of a strong Twitter play that I want to get into. So if we look, I don't really see anything else that's really strong. Hello world, all of this is just bundled bullshit, and you can tell if you just look on any given chart, okay, whoops, and look at the first transactions. You see this one transaction on the 1 second chart that went from literally 0 to 1 million. That is an obvious scam. This is an obvious bundle. Sometimes it won't be this dramatic to 1 million, it'll be like to 100K or whatever, but whenever you see just one crazy thing like this, one crazy candle like this in the seconds early on, this is a bundled scam, right? And it shows you, Axiom's kind of warning you bundled, but sometimes they have creative ways of hiding bundles. That's why we use the advanced tools, but your eyes will tell you anyway. If a chart looks inorganic like this, it's more than likely gonna be some type of scam, okay? Don't fall for this. You're not doing your due diligence if you're falling for stuff like this. Okay, you haven't been through the course. Join my free course. Learn, like we teach all this stuff for free as well, right? If you're not ready for Rage Pro, just start on the free course. Just don't get into bullshit like this, okay? It's very easy to not get into bullshit. And if you could just not get into bullshit, the real stuff becomes more obvious. So we'll scan a little bit more and we'll see if anything else pops up. Dog, nobody knows your dog. Looks interesting, just not interesting enough. Okay, it's got a little bit of history on it. A lot of wallets have gone into it. Looks like it bottomed out. So maybe if we like this narrative, we could look into it. Nobody knows your dog. Yeah, see, I don't really understand the lore here. So for that, I'm going to pass. But if it looks strong enough, I would look into it more and I would buy. I would rather buy higher with conviction than buy now, kind of like iffy, you know, and that's the key. Okay, Cuck, we've seen this a bunch of times. Kanye's new album, whatever, like we're not gonna bid that. Zerbro, you know, there's lore behind the dev of Zerbro, whether he offed himself or not, or whether it's a hoax. And, you know, we've been seeing a lot of this. You know, I see a lot of Twitter reuses. I'm just gonna pass on that as well. So there's nothing really catching my eye, but we'll scan here for a bit. We'll see if anything pops up. Okay, guys, so we found the cook. I actually thought we was recording. We wasn't, so let me catch you up on things. So we're already up over 500, as you can see here. This is basically Thugify. It's Mr. Beast, but thugged out. And I just found this hilarious. I saw this earlier on X, and it actually made me laugh. But it's basically like the Babyfy meme, but it's a little bit more funny, just to me, right? Because the Babyfy, I didn't really like it as much. Like I said, this is dragged out, whatever the case. You see over $600 now. Let me just take a clip here. But yeah, so like I said, Babyfy has been a little bit dragged out, but we got in early enough to where I like it. But you can see here, like I saw that price was struggling here. I saw that price was struggling here. And that's why I took those clips there, because you want to sell into volume. That's how you want to sell into trades. When people are buying in a lot and you got an early entry like you see here, then that's when you clip out. And you see my first clip out was already at like a 4X. And we called this in the group live as well. As soon as I saw this, I sent the scan inside the alpha group because I just knew it was early to this meta. Now it's a little bit dragged out. I don't think this is gonna be like $1 million run or anything. But again, when you see something this early, that's good. And when you're scanning all day and you didn't see shit all day, then that's when you want to get a trade, when it's kind of obvious. Like I knew it was obvious. If Babyfy ran earlier and we was a little bit late, again, I didn't like it as much, then this is definitely gonna have a little bit of legs. We can at least get a 10x to 100K. I figured it at least bombed. Okay, so let's see how it behaves here. I don't want to sell in this dip, but I do want to see how it behaves here. I want to see it break this trend line. It keeps struggling there, and that's why I keep taking the clips there, because it's like almost like liquidity zone. That's where everybody's having their exit, so I'm gonna get a clip out too. You feel me? So I'm pretty sure it'll break out of here soon too. This little trend line, mini trend line here, will break out of this sweep soon. Let's see. So you see here, I took another clip out because it's still struggling in this area. Now, I'm just looking at price action. I'm not going that hard on like crazy technical analysis here. This is just price action, just so I could see the volume. I'm just following the price action. So I took out a clip. Now it's making a new high. I'll take out another little clip. Okay, and then you can see like we're literally printing right now. We're up already almost over 10x. We're up around $700 right now, and I'm pretty sure it goes maybe a little bit more. You know, if it pumps up a little bit more, I'm gonna keep selling into volume, and that's how you guys want to do it. Obviously, if you got a lower port or anything of that nature, you kind of want to be more aggressive with how you take profit. Book those 2x's, 3x's, whatever the case is, and you want to be a little bit safe, because not everything is going to 10x. Sometimes after I booked my initials at 3x, it could have just fell right there, you know, but in this case, it didn't, but I would have been safe, you know, and that's the key. So yeah, I miss out a little bit on profits, but this is how I never lose, because I take out clips, I sell into volume, you know, I take what the market gives me. I'm not forcing a 10x every single time. So you see here, I'm gonna see what it does. Already up over $700, $1,000 a day, keeps the 9 to 5 away. But yeah, you guys see how to scan for a good pair and give you an idea of how to take profits and manage your trade. All right, guys, so that's a little bit of scanning for you. I hope you gained some value from that. Guys, we went over a bunch of things, okay? We went over narratives, we went over filters, we went over scanning, how to scan for good pairs versus bad pairs, how to clip out of trades, when to be aggressive with your profits, when not to be aggressive with your profits, advanced tools, the importance of trading in groups. Now, guys, if you aren't tapped in already, tap in with Rage Pro. You can tap into the free version if you aren't ready as well. We got a whole free course, A to Z, fully comprehensive. Nobody in the space has been in detail and as comprehensive as this. So definitely go tap in, and for free, right? Next level. Now, if you're ready to scan and lock in and use the advanced tools, definitely go pro. Don't trade by yourself, family. It's a lot of value in this. If you got value, if you got questions even, go and comment below, subscribe, join the group. I'm gonna see you guys on the other side, and I'll see you in the next video. Tap in, family.